While some of the texts are damning, videos really aren't that different from what you'd see on his show. But where are these leaks coming from and why? The conventional wisdom is that they're coming from Fox News, eager to portray Carlson in the worst light possible and potentially explain why they fired him. But if that were really the goal, and that's who did it, it is seemingly backfired, allowing him to become even more of a martyr after the leaks. Now, there is another theory of how and why this is coming to light. Deep in the New York Times report is this passage about the "How White Men Fight" text. The text alarmed the Fox board, which saw the message a day before Fox was set to defend itself against Dominion voting systems before a jury. The board grew concerned that the message could become public at trial when Mr. Carlson was on the stand, creating a sensational and damaging moment that would raise broader questions about the company. The day after the discovery, the board told Fox executives it was bringing in an outside law firm to conduct an investigation into Mr. Carlson's conduct. So, could it be someone on the board? Could it be someone from Dominion? Is it Fox News themselves? Joining me now, someone who knows this area very well, the host of the Death of Journalism podcast, John Ziegler. John, thanks for coming back on the show. Appreciate it. So what is your best guess as to why these leaks are coming out and who's doing it?
And I think this is a lot like a losing presidential campaign, where at the end, everyone leaks everywhere trying to make sure that they don't get blamed for a disaster. And let's be clear, the Tucker Carlson firing is a disaster for Fox News Channel, at least in the short run, and I believe actually in the long run. Now, let's break this down. First, the New York Times situation. I believe that someone on the board is currying favor with and signaling their virtue to the New York Times, who is a day late and at least $1 short on a story that everyone else has been chasing. That text involving how white men don't fight is not how Tucker Carlson or why Tucker Carlson was fired. Anyone who believes that has never seen Tucker Carlson's show. I believe that the Times is clearly just trying to latch on to something that would fit their political agenda, which is they want to make the appeal of Tucker Carlson inherently racist. And that, I think, is what the Times is doing. The Wall Street Journal story, which dovetails perfectly with what I told you the night of the firing on this show, where I told you this was about redacted messages about a boss, I believe is far more truthful, which makes a lot more sense since obviously the Wall Street Journal is owned by the same company as Fox News Channel. And I'm a bit confused, Dan, how it is in a post-Me Too 2023 world where there's any confusion about the fact that calling your female boss the C word and then telling the lawyers who were bragging to you that they got it redacted from the lawsuit that he wants it to be known by the whole world that you called her the C word is not a fireable offense. I find that kind of bizarre, especially in this day and age.
Yeah, and I think you make a good point about sort of watching Tucker's show. I want to play this. This is number one, because this is just one of many examples of Tucker. Here he was mocking the Tennessee Three's Justin Pearson for previously acting white.
I want to bring everyone together, said Justin Pearson, in a voice that if you closed your eyes, you could easily imagine coming from a suburban orthodontist. Justin Pearson wasn't white, that's probably how he got into Bowdoin in the first place, but he did a fantastic impression of it. What a nice young man. Has he considered the apprenticeship program at Citibank? That was the old Justin Pearson before his transition.
I mean, that's worse than talking about, if you're going to just sort of weigh everything, that's worse than the leaked text. And so I think you're right to suggest that for people to somehow now say, oh my goodness, that's the reason that Tucker Carlson was fired, it doesn't make any sense. So you think that there's mixed motivations here in terms of the different leaks to different places?
Yeah, and I think that what really happened here is that Tucker Carlson, Occam's razor, got too big for his britches, became unmanageable. I think he became a bit unhinged. I mean, let's be real about this. His firing has now become a universal martyr situation. Every conspiracy cause in the world can now point to Tucker Carlson and say, that's the reason he got fired.
John Ziegler, the one thing you always know is that he'll have an opinion. Appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you. Coming up. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.